So in this video, I'm just going to go over E2 of Ahsoka. I just wanted to go over some things that I found interesting. That's pretty much it. Probably give it a rating at the end, and I'm not going to get like a whole synopsis because the last video was 35 minutes, and I know y'all have other things to do, and y'all need to hear me talk for 35 minutes. That being said, buffering. So, yes, I do want to praise Rosario Dawson, Mary Elizabeth Winston, and I really apologize because I do not know who plays Sabine. They're all doing such a great job, and I really have to give it to them. It is awkward, it is stiff. Like I said, I just think that's the relationship that they have. They haven't seen each other in so long. Ahsoka is just kind of like estranged from everybody. It seems like she's just lives on her ship with Yu Yang. And that's got to be a hard existence, you know. She's just a wanderer. And it's just crazy to see Ahsoka like that, because in Clone Wars she was just always just so chipper and upbeat and very optimistic, whereas now she's kind of cold and distant, and she's constantly getting over after Sabine. And it seems like, oh, you know, you helped enough. Like, okay, this is dramatic. We can all know where she gets that diva-ness from, you know. You know, that Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, he is like a drama queen, if I've ever seen one. Yeah, so, Ahsoka being really hard on Sabine. Sabine is, you know, just helped her ass out, unlock that key. Ahsoka was not going to be able to do it on her own, and Hera knew that. Hera is just acting like mediator at this point, trying to get Sabine and Ahsoka back together, because she knows that they need each other. She knows that. And I guess because Ahsoka needs some space from Sabine, she needs to cool off. She goes to the comm tower, under the suspicion, I guess there's a droid there. And she notices Sabine is taking care of a loth cat. She domesticated a loth cat, and, you know, loth cat is connected to Ezra, and the comm tower is connected to Ezra. She has a hologram that Ahsoka finds the hologram, and she doesn't play the message, but she sees the images of the image of Ezra. It's just Sabine's constantly reminded of Ezra, and that's just kind of where she's so heartbroken. She feels abandoned. Ezra abandoned her. Ahsoka abandoned her. She is in this rut, in this depression. She's almost grieving. It doesn't really seem like she wants to connect with anybody either. She's so unkept. She's just not Sabine. Sabine was always just too cool for school. And you know, it is weird to see these characters so stiff, and I don't know how else to explain it, but it's interesting to see now because they're a lot older, especially Sabine. She was a teenager in Rebels, and now she's obviously older. Sabine is like, I mean, Ahsoka is a 45 at this point, so I think she's just less patient, but that doesn't really make any sense. I just want to say, like, she's more reserved. She is close to the sleeve, you know, just say real, or whatever that saying is. Yeah, but I was reading something about how these actresses aren't really getting into the characters. Whatever, they're very talented people. I don't think it's anything to do with that. I just think it has to do with the relationship between all of them and the tension. And living through the Galactic Empire was probably not a fucking walk in the park. I'll just say that. They all have all this unresolved trauma, and they're gonna be weird. They're gonna act awkward. So I think they're just setting it up. And at the end of the episode, it's like finally, you know, Sabine comes out with her Mandalorian armor and her helmet, and she's ready to find Ezra. She wants to find Ezra. And Ahsoka eases up, and it seems finally like they're getting along again. But like throughout the whole first episode, throughout the whole second episode, it was just very, very tense between them. Another thing I noticed was Morgan. She was using these ruins to unlock the map key that they obtained from the comm tower that Balin's apprentice got from Sabine. And there was a droid there too, waiting for Ahsoka. I think I kind of mentioned that. And they were able to find out where the droid was manufactured, because when Ahsoka cut off that head, she brought it to Sabine, and Sabine was able to plug into it and literally pinpoint that they were from Corellia, which is mentioned throughout all of Star Wars. And I totally forgot where I was going with that. She uses the flame to unlock the key so they can find Grand Admiral Thrawn. And it doesn't look good for Ahsoka and gang. Ghost Crew, I'm just going to call them Ghost Crew. Also, I love David Tennant as Hugh Yang. That is just awesome. It's just amazing. I don't know why I didn't mention that in the first one. Going over my notes a little bit here, sorry. And we also are introduced, we see the Phantom, which is Hera Syndulla's ship, and Chopper. Like, literally my favorite droid of Star Wars is probably Chopper now. He is just so sassy, and I just love it. And he is a pretty old astromech droid. So, he is, how he has been, like, alive at this point, it is just crazy, because he's kind of a legend. I guess he's kind of like R2, you know, R2 has seen it all. And I just love Chop. He's just so vocal, and there's times I feel like I can actually understand what he's saying. So there's this part, and Hera is actually talking to him and asking him like the status of this tracking beacon that she made him put on the ship with this hyperdrive that they were trying to steal from Corellia. So they weren't able to shoot down the transport ship, but they were able to put a tracking device on it, which Chopper did that. And, you know, of course, being the hero, I just love him so much. And the ship gets away, but it's okay because they're tracking it. Then they go back and meet Ahsoka, who was on the ground fighting an unknown Grand Inquisitor. Not a Grand Inquisitor, just an Inquisitor. We don't know who he is. It's kind of unknown at this point. And I'm wondering if it is actually the actor Wes Chapman. He is in The Expanse. And now if you want some good sci-fi space show, that is one of the best. I absolutely recommend The Expanse. It's like 10 out of 10. And yes, it was sci-fi at first and whatever. Say what you will. But there are a lot of people that said like that is a very accurate way of space travel. Like if there were like the ships itself. I'm not just throwing that out there. Anyway, this cat. Yes, she's being a very dirty girl. Okay, Chop. Yeah, so he is scanning, and I could have sworn he says it. He says scanning, still just scanning. When Hera asks for an update, and I swear that's what he says. Like, Hera's like, well, just let us know when you get an update, okay? And it's so great that she can understand him and like, I guess relate to us what he's saying. But when he's speaking, it just feels like I can understand him. I don't know if that's crazy or what, but I just think it's cute. Just how sassy he is and how vocal he is. Dave Filoni did describe him, like, he said that if R2 is a dog, then Chop is a cat. And now looking at Rebels, I'm like, yeah, that totally makes sense. Trying to think. Yeah, I want to say, like, oh, I did like the line, an empire just doesn't become a republic overnight. Meaning they have to use, imperial workforce, imperial, former imperial, because, it's the republic. They literally just can't afford to use anybody else. They have to use the workforce that's already in place. It would cost too much money. Of course. Gotta think about that. So, I think I already covered kind of the end of it, where Sabine is coming back with her Mandalorian armor, and she teams up with Ahsoka so they can find, I'm assuming, so she can find Ezra. That's her main objective at this point, which is, someone on YouTube like really explained it well. They said, Ahsoka's looking for Thrawn, and Sabine is looking for Ezra. They have totally different priorities. So I'm wondering if that's going to cause more tension between them. Now that they're finally easing up to each other, finally reconciling, and after Sabine needed much needed prep talks from Hera and Q Yang, he did kind of encourage her to go back to Ahsoka. So I'm not gonna give him too much trouble. Let's see. What else did I wrote down here? The episode, I'd probably rate it at I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. I think my favorite thing was, of course, you know, Chopper. I just love that little dude. He's just so sassy. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. I hope I got it all. See y'all next week.